I think in general, vegan food gets a bad rap for being boring and for having kind of weird substitutes in there to try to make it feel more like non-vegan foods. But if you look through cultures around the world, you will find naturally vegan dishes that are bursting with flavor and super delicious. So today we are looking at 5 vegan dishes that don't use any meat substitutes, but rock on their own. So let's get started with a dish from Brazil.
Hi Beryl, hi everyone, my name is Gabriela. I was born and raised at the state of Espírito Santo in Brazil, in a really small town called João Neiva in the north of the state. I'm here today to talk with you about Moqueca Capixaba de banana da terra, or plantain stew. You also can make this with heart of palm, as we call it palmito. The base of this dish is common for every type of preparation: onions, garlic, colorau, tomato, green onion, and lots of cilantro.
The recipe says to cut them 1 inch thick, and I cut them, but I don't know how much an inch really is, so let's measure my plantain slice here. Whoops, hello. It was like ½ an inch. Whatever, that's okay.
It's a really warm and refreshing meal that is usually served by the beach, but I think it really suits winter also. It's usually served at the table with some kind of pickled chili pepper, and I think a few drops of this chili pepper that you might have will take this dish to another level. This dish has indigenous roots and Portuguese influence, so it talks about the history of colonization and the way we had to make something good out of something bad. As a vegetarian for more than 10 years now, I like this dish because it's a way that I can keep in touch with part of my culture that is naturally vegan, is naturally vegetarian, and I think it's beautiful to see the dishes that are naturally plant-based. As Brazilians are known for being mad meat eaters, I think it's beautiful to look at the vegetables. As a vegetarian,
I love a dish with plantains because plantains are something that I was honestly kind of introduced to through this channel. I'd never really eaten them before, and turns out that I love them. I also really like hearts of palm, so I like the combination of the two in this like soup stew. What a yummy. That's really good. The hearts of palm is adding really great texture. I don't feel like hearts of palm have that much flavor, but I love the texture of them in the dish. Yum, the plantain though is so yummy. I love plantains because they're really starchy and they feel really hearty when you eat them. This tomato-based broth is so flavorful. I'm glad that I used the vegetable stock when I cooked it. So I'm gonna add a little bit of vegetable broth now instead of water, just because I have some left over and I just think it's gonna add a lot more flavor. But if you don't have vegetable broth and you wanna make this at home, you can just use water. I think it would have been really good with water, but adding the vegetable stock just added another layer of flavor that you just can't get with water. I like that we have a vegetarian/vegan dish from Brazil because Brazil honestly is known for being very meat heavy, right? And so it's nice to see dishes that are naturally vegetarian or vegan coming out of countries that are known for their meat dishes as well. I think that it shows the diversity within that cuisine and that there's more to it than just the stereotype of what we might think. If you like plantains and you want to try a dish that has lots of different textures, lots of flavors, includes hearts of palm, because we don't eat enough hearts of palm these days, if you ask me, I think this is a dish that you should go for. It only took about a ½ hour to make, so it was simple. There wasn't much prep. Like, I'm singing the praises of this dish. I highly recommend it. I loved it. It gave me that first gut reaction of like, ooh, which is always fun when you're trying something new. I've got a little time to kill, so I'm gonna play a game, June's Journey, who is the sponsor of today's episode. June's Journey is a murder mystery game that takes place in the 1920s that you can play on your iPhone or iOS device and on PC. It's free to download. And the puzzles really remind me of I Spy books back when we were younger, where you have to find hidden images in a really colorful setting. They do add a little bit of extra zing by putting a timer on screen, so you have to find things as quickly as you can, which is actually really exciting to do. Boom. You can play on your iPhone. Yes. The game has tons of levels, so there's a lot of gameplay ahead of you if you decide to play it. It does kind of feel like finding a gem in the rough. There are so many games out there to play, and this one to me is really special. It has story, it has excitement, and I love the world building aspect of it. A great way to support me and the channel is by interacting with brands that work with me. June's Journey has given me a link and a QR code so that if you want to play the game, you can download it here. This is a big bowl of green beans. I love green beans though, so this is totally up my alley. It was so easy to make. Yum. Ooh, this is definitely going into rotation. It's very fresh and vibrant tasting. The tomatoes are really bright, and the tomato paste makes sure that you have a good tomato flavor, because sometimes tomatoes, especially in the winter, don't really taste like anything, but the tomato paste makes sure that it tastes very tomatoey. The onions are giving a little bit of sweetness, and then in general, the green beans are definitely the star of the show. They are soft, but not too soft. I think cutting them in half was the right way to go. You can use broad beans for this, but broad beans are just not in season right now, and green beans are a really good substitute. I think that this is a dish that anybody would like, vegan or not, for sure, because it's a beautiful green bean dish. It comes together so easily, so next time you need a side dish for your main meal, like, make this. Definitely make it.
Hi there, I'm Mariam from Cairo, Egypt, and today I'm going to tell you about a Syrian dish called Harrak, Esbao, which literally means he burned his finger. Yeah, I know the name is weird, and they say that the reason behind this name is that there was a woman who was cooking this dish for the first time, and then her husband, who loves food passionately, came and he tried to taste it while she was cooking, and he put his finger in the pot and burned his finger and screamed. So the son came and asked, like, what's happening? And the mom said he burned his finger. The son thought that this is the name of the dish, and this is how the name came to us. I actually learned about this dish from a Saudi friend with Syrian roots back when I was living in Saudi Arabia. Harrak Esbao is a beautiful mix of black lentils and pasta, cooked in a thick rich base of tamarind, pomegranate molasses, and olive oil. And then you add like a fragrant blend of parsley and garlic, which gives it its special aroma. and then you garnish it with pomegranate seed, parsley, fried bread, and onion.
Oh no.
So altogether it becomes like a colorful warm dish that looks like a festival on people. I personally love this dish for like so many reasons. Flavor wise, it's like a festival of flavors, so the sweetness and sourness of pomegranate molasses and tamarind together makes it special, and also the special aroma of parsley and garlic, and then you have like all the colors of pomegranate, onion, flatbread. For me, cooking is an act of love, and I love cooking this special dish for people that I care about. I'm not vegan myself, and for me it doesn't matter like whether a dish is vegan or not. What matters is the taste and the memories behind it. And yes, naturally vegan dishes are very common in Egypt, not necessarily because of vegan rules, but because like vegan dishes are way more affordable than dishes with beef, and many dishes can be cooked with or without meat. I think everyone should try Harrak Esbao. This is comfort, warmth, and the festival of flavors in each bite.
I really like the story about how this dish got its name. Super cute. Visually stunning. This is so beautiful. I am not looking forward to completely messing it up, but I am looking forward to trying it. So, right in the center. I want some pomegranate, and I want some of these homemade chips. The main flavor that I'm getting from this is sour from the tamarind and from the pomegranate molasses. And it's really interesting because I think in general, sour foods are not really a part of the American diet. And so I'm not necessarily used to having those flavors be super strong, but I'm a huge fan of sour flavor. So using things like pomegranate molasses and tamarind paste, like I should be doing that more. The pasta and the lentils together, it's really nice. I like the combination. It's not something that I've ever really done before, of cooking lentils and pasta at the same time. Obviously, I had to cook the lentils first, but then by cooking everything together at the end, made it easy. And there's a nice balance of texture going on. The sweet pop of the pomegranate and the crispiness of the bread and the kind of caramelized sweetness of the onions, it all just pairs so well together. This is a dish that is full of different textures, full of different flavors. It delights the senses. How about that? It delights the senses.
Hi Beryl, my name is Mariam from Greece. I live in a city in the north of the country. My vegan suggestion for you is Gemista, which are simply stuffed vegetables. The most common used are bell peppers and tomatoes, but I prefer them with Florina peppers and eggplants. As for the filling, there are two basic versions. This plant-based one with rice and veggies.
I love veggie heavy dishes like this one, but the prep is so intense. That was so much prep, so much chopping. My workstation is not very clean right now. It's very not Top Chef of me. I've been watching a lot of Top Chef, so I'm like, gotta keep my workplace clean, but no, I did not do a good job at that. I'm tired. Now it's time to assemble. For this, we're using round grain rice or short grain rice. It's the same thing. You can use arborio rice, which is used for making risotto. We are using sushi rice, which is another short grain rice that will work really well for this recipe.
The majority cooks it during summer, I believe almost every week, as then the ingredients are super fresh from local fields and plentiful.
This goes here. These go here. Potatoes get in there.
The Mediterranean diet includes mostly plant-based recipes, so I think this is a good example for someone who follows a vegan diet or just wants a healthy choice. Enjoy!
This is a big old plate of food between the two peppers, the potatoes, the only half an eggplant. We ended up cooking the rest of the filling with some vegetable stock and making a really delicious rice dish. But in the recipe, I think I will half the amount of filling because there was just so much filling. Anyway, okay, let's try this. That's so good. That stuffing is so good. And with the creamy eggplant, the balance of the two together are delicious. The tomato paste is really good. The hit of salt is actually the right amount of salt. I did a little bit of finishing salt at the end just to like amp it up a bit because, you know, like with rice dishes, you always need a little more salt than you think, or at least I do, because I'm a salt lover. Let's go back for seconds, please. The stuffing is just like amazing. It's like, it almost like doesn't matter what vessel you put it in because the stuffing is so good. The rice is really soft, but has a little bit of bite still. It's cooked perfectly, and having it in the oven gave it like a little bit of toastiness. And it's very delicately spiced because the only spices that we really used were salt and pepper and tomato paste. Well, tomato paste isn't the spice, so just salt and pepper. And that's very traditional of Greek cooking. I feel like when you eat Greek food, you really feel like you're tasting the garden. And this dish is no different than that. Like, it feels like a fresh bounty of vegetables, and I love it for that. I'm just going in for some of the rice. Oh yeah. It's worth it to make this rice alone. Like, if you don't even want to stuff it in anything, you don't have to. Just make the rice dish because it's delicious. Finally, all my nuts going to good use. I'm using 4 different kinds of nuts for my nut roast, and I can't say nut roast without like it seeming nut roast. Anyway, I'm using 4 different kinds of nuts for my nut roast, and finally some good use for all these nuts because I don't eat nuts. So of course choosing a nut roast is to challenge myself to try something new that I might not like. I am using pistachios, pecans, almonds, and cashews for my nut roast. I am using, this is what we're looking for, it's quite fine. Quite fine indeed. I've never had Marmite before. This is my first time experiencing, that smells strong. Oh boy. I have a very open mind when it comes to trying foods. I don't know how I feel about Marmite. Maybe you're not meant to eat it like just straight out of the jar though, which is probably what it is. Wake up your taste buds, put the oomph in your breakfast. Yeah, you're telling me, wake up your taste buds. They are awake, my good man. They are awake. Oh boy. Mind when it comes to trying food. We're finishing with what feels like the most stereotypical of the dishes for a vegetarian vegan episode, a nut loaf. Nut loaves are famous, which is why I decided to include it, and I've never had one before, so let's see. As someone who doesn't really like nuts, let's see how it is. Oh, honestly, it's actually not that bad. I thought it was gonna be really dry. It's not dry at all. We did a combination of 4 different nuts. The pistachio flavor is pretty strong to me, and I like that. I do like pistachios. I think I kind of like this. I was thinking like there's no vegetables in this, like what is this gonna be like? I had no concept. I guess the Marmite is adding that kind of umami flavor to it that I'm enjoying. When I had the Marmite on its own, I did not enjoy it. I'm not gonna lie, that was a lot.
Oh boy.
But mixed in with this, I have no problem. It tastes really good. And then the onions are just like have a subtle sweetness. I never thought that I would say this, but apparently I love me a good nut loaf. Because this is like good. You know what it tastes like? It tastes like stuffing. It tastes like stuffing. That's kind of why I'm liking it. Oh, there was bread in this too. Maybe that's why. But yeah, nut loaf. Who knew? That's gonna be the new tagline for nut loaves everywhere. Who knew? I hope you enjoyed this episode and found some inspiration for the coming week. Let me know in the comments which of these dishes you would try first. Definitely try the green beans. They were amazing. A big thank you once again to June's Journey for sponsoring this episode. Don't forget you can download the game using the link in my bio. Don't forget that all the recipes are always on my website, beryl.nyc, and like and subscribe. It helps support the channel. Until next week, I'm leaving you with another one of our vegan episodes, and I'm leaving you with a potato episode. I will see you all next week. I do this every time. I say week too many times. I'll see you all next week.